Alright, so in today's video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be turning off the salary cap in NHL 24 and seeing how that affects the league over the next 5 seasons. So we are going to see teams like Toronto and Edmonton greatly benefit from this because Edmonton, well, they are paying Darnell Nurse like almost $10 million, and Toronto is struggling to keep Matthews, Marner, and Nylander together as they are all asking a lot of dollars. I believe they have like $30 million tied up in the 3 of them, not even mentioning John Tavares, who's making like $10 million. So that means over the course of the next 5 years, players can sign literally anywhere they want. There is no salary cap, so we could actually see some super teams in the NHL right now. So let's go on and simulate to see who wins the Stanley Cup year after year with no salary cap in the NHL. So at the end of year number 1, the New York Rangers are going to end up finishing first in the NHL as they go 59-19-4, damn near winning 60 games, followed by the Carolina Hurricanes, the Edmonton Oilers, Toronto was up there, Seattle, Colorado, and New Jersey. Let's take a look at the bottom of the standings here. We have the New York Islanders finishing dead last in the NHL, followed by Arizona, San Jose, Nashville, and St. Louis. Nathan MacKinnon is going to lead all skaters in points with 118, followed by Connor McDavid's 109, Pasta had 107, Kaprizov 106, Austin Matthews was up there, Jack Hughes had 103, Ovi 102, Draisaitl 101, and Tage Thompson 100. Kirill Kaprizov is actually going to lead the NHL in goals with 56, followed by Matthews 55, McKinnon also had 55, Pasta had 54, Ovi 51, Stammer was up there with 47, Kucherov had 45, and Draisaitl 43. Also shout out Matthew Tkachuk, 43 goals and 95 points. Not to the standard of the last 2 seasons. God damn, he had 123 penalty minutes last season. Adam Fox is going to lead all D-man in points with 84, followed by Dougie Hamilton's 82, Thomas Chabot had 82, Carlson 79, Cale Makar was up there with only 79, 8 goals. He didn't score a lot. He was also a -8. Victor Hedman had 74, Charlie McAvoy 73, Dahlin 71, and Roman Josi 70. For goalies, Igor Shesterkin is going to set the goalie record for wins in a single season with 50, followed by Freddie Anderson's 48. Samsonov had 44, Stuart Skinner had 38, Vanacek 38, and Vasi 37. Now, as we take a look at shutouts, Bobrovsky and Freddie Anderson are going to each tie at 6 apiece, followed by Jari's 5, Luukkonen had 4, Allen had 4, and Stuart Skinner 4. And here's what our year 1 playoff matchups look like. We do have Toronto and Montreal in the very first round. That'll be good. And in the Stanley Cup final, we have the Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Colorado Avalanche. Who is going to go on and win the Stanley Cup in year number 1? And in year number 1, the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to go on and defeat the Colorado Avalanche in the Stanley Cup final to capture the Stanley Cup. Their first Stanley Cup in over 50 years. Also the first Canadian team to win the Stanley Cup in over 30 years. I never thought in a million years I would see this, but here we are, boys. Toronto has somehow actually done the impossible, and there it is, the Stanley Cup being raised in Colorado, but for Toronto, as they are going to go home with the Stanley Cup in year number 1. Here's Johnny T coming to collect that Stanley Cup. He's going to say suck it to all the New York Islanders fans that said he couldn't get it done, because now, not only is he a Stanley Cup champion, but the Toronto Maple Leafs are back to their glory days, winning Stanley Cups. Now for the playoffs, Nathan MacKinnon is going to lead the way with points with 36, followed by Mikko Rantanen's 35. William Nylander had 32, Breadman 28. Yeah, Artemi Panarin is never putting up 28 points in the postseason. Cale Makar had 28, only 2 goals, but 26 assists. Matthews was up there, 16 goals. Nathan MacKinnon is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy, while the Maurice Richard is going to go to Kirill Kaprizov. The Norris is going to go to Thomas Chabot, the Lady Bing Pasta, and the Conn Smythe to William Nylander. Also, Connor Bedard will take home the Calder. Stuart Skinner somehow is going to win the Vezina, and the Selke is going to go to Ryan O'Reilly. So let's take a look at who we have here in free agency. These are all UFAs. So Patrick Kane is not signed by any team. I don't know, did he play last season? He would end up signing with New York, playing 1 more year there, scoring 43 goals and 95 points. He's going to be a 91 overall. Ryan Hartman's up there with an 86. JVR is still here. Jonathan Taves still a free agent. There's some decent free agent skaters still on the market. Let's take a look at the goalies here. Connor Hellebuck at an 88 overall is a free agent. He's 31 years old. He can literally sign anywhere. Samsonov also is a free agent. DeSmith is up there. Kakkonen is still there. Now, if we take a look at the restricted free agents, we do have Elias Pettersson, who's a 92 overall. He's seeking $11 million for 7 years. I don't know if he wants to leave Vancouver or what is going through his mind, but that's the big free agent here. I think Vancouver still has the opportunity to match whatever offer he gets from any other team, so they could do that, but but still, there is a chance that Pettersson is on the move this offseason. So it looks like Elias Pettersson did decide to re-sign with the Vancouver Canucks in the offseason for 7 more years at $13 million. But I mean, it doesn't even matter because there is no salary cap in the NHL at the moment. So at the end of year number 2, the Carolina Hurricanes are going to finish first in the NHL, going 57-20-5, followed by the Colorado Avalanche, the New York Rangers. Winnipeg was up there. Now at the bottom of the NHL, we have the Red Wings, the Arizona Coyotes, San Jose, and Ottawa were all terrible. I mean, Detroit being the absolute worst. 24 wins, 53 losses, and 5 overtime losses. Mika Zibanejad is going to lead all skaters in points with 125, followed by Alex Ovechkin's 119. Svechnikov had 116. Kucherov and your mom's a hoe had 114 apiece. Breadman was up there. Stammer had 112. Rantanen 111. Patrick Kane 110. Alex Ovechkin is going to score the most goals by any player with 67 goals, his career high at age 39, followed by Nathan MacKinnon's 58. Kucherov had 58. Patrick Kane was up there. Zibanejad 55. Matthews 55. Svechnikov 51. Paston. Kyle Connor also 51 goals. A lot of scoring across the NHL this season. Now if we take a look at defenseman, Cale Makar is going to absolutely dominate with 108 points, leading all D-man, followed by Adam Fox's 99. Carlson had 83. Victor Hedman had 80. Josh Morrissey 76. Brent Burns 74. Now for goalies, Freddie Anderson is going to win 50 games just like Igor did last season, followed by Georgiev's 43. Shesterkin was up there with 39. Stuart Skinner 39. Samsonov 38. And Allmark 38. Now for shutouts, Jonas Korpisalo is going to lead the way with 7, followed by Stuart Skinner 6. And Markstrom had 6 as well. And here's what the playoff matchups look like in year number 2. And in the Stanley Cup final, yet again, Colorado has made it, but this time they're going to play the Carolina Hurricanes. They are already down 1-0 in the series, but who is going to go on and win the Stanley Cup in year number 2? And the Carolina Hurricanes are going to get it done as they defeat the Colorado Avalanche in the Stanley Cup final. Colorado losing back-to-back Stanley Cup finals must absolutely hurt, but Carolina is going to get it done for the first time since 2006, I believe, when they defeated my Oilers in the Stanley Cup final. That was tough to watch. And there it is, the Stanley Cup being raised in Carolina. Why does their rink look so big? Of course, not a single change to the Stanley Cup celebration, presentation, whatever the hell you want to call it. There's Jordan Staal coming to lift the Stanley Cup for the second time in his NHL career, as the Carolina Hurricanes have gone all the way in year number 2 and now are Stanley Cup champions. Now for the entire playoffs, your mom's a hoe is going to lead for points with 30, followed by Nathan MacKinnon's 28. Patrick Kane had 27. Yes, Patrick Kane has joined the Carolina Hurricanes and has won another Stanley Cup. That is 4 in his NHL career. Gabriel Landeskog had 25. Rantanen 24. Teravainen 24. And Svechnikov also 24. Zibanejad is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy, while Alex Ovechkin is going to win the Maurice Richard. Cale Makar is going to win the Norris, the Lady Bing to Patrick Kane, and the Conn Smythe to your mom's a hoe. Shane Wright would also take home the Calder. The Vezina is going to go to Ilya Sorokin, and the Selke will go to Ryan O'Reilly yet again, back-to-back years. Now let's take a look at free agency here. Here are the UFAs. Jacob Chikrin, an 87 overall elite defenseman, is still on the board. Max Pacioretty, who still somehow is an 87 overall despite the fact he's 36 years old. He's also here. Neil Pionk is there. Sam Bennett, Mikael Granlund, Robbie Fabry. We have some decent free agents here in the offseason. What about for goalies? Ville Husso is the best goalie available at an 85. Now at the end of year number 3, Colorado yet again is going to end up finishing first in the NHL, winning 57 games, followed by the Carolina Hurricanes, the Boston Bruins, Tampa Bay was up there, and the Montreal Canadiens finishing top 5 in the NHL. Shout out the Chicago Blackhawks for also finishing top 8. Now at the bottom of the NHL, we have the Nashville Predators, the Ottawa Senators, the Seattle Kraken, and the Detroit Red Wings. Okay, well, it looks like Connor Bedard has turned to an absolute demigod, leading in goals with 72 and points with 132. This dude is a 95 overall. He's only 20 years old. Absolutely dominating the NHL, followed by Pasta, who had 117. Kuznetsov had a huge year. McKinnon had 111. Breadman 111. Connor McDavid only had 110. Kucherov was up there. Draisaitl and Teuvo Teravainen. And for goals, I mean, it wasn't even close. Other than Bedard, though, Kucherov is going to lead the way with 61, followed by Pasta's 57, Ovi 57. Zibanejad was also up there. Barkov at 54, McDavid 53, and Matthews 52. I mean, we had like, what, 260 goal scorers, 170 goal scorer, and like 5 or 7 or 8 50 goal scorers. Now for defensemen, Adam Fox is going to lead the way with 83 points, followed by Cale Makar's 80. Victor Hedman had 77. Shea Theodore 72. Seth Jones 71. Georgiev is going to lead in wins with 46, followed by Allmark's 44. Kochekov had 43 and Ottinger had 40. And now for shutouts, Lucas Dostal is going to lead the way with 7, followed by Georgiev 6 and Sorokin, who had 5. And in the Stanley Cup final, we have the Chicago Blackhawks versus the Carolina Hurricanes. I guess Connor Bedard has absolutely carried Chicago here as they are up against the defending champs. It's going to be one hell of a series. Let's see who goes on and takes home that Stanley Cup. And the Carolina Hurricanes are going to go back-to-back yet again, winning that Stanley Cup as they defeat the Chicago Blackhawks in 6 games in the Stanley Cup final. I guess just having Connor Bedard on your team was not enough to defeat the two-time defending champs, the Carolina Hurricanes, as they have started a dynasty. Patrick Kane got his 5th NHL Stanley Cup, and your mom's a hoe, Sebastian Aho, is going to take home the Conn Smythe. He had 34 points in the postseason. That is a damn good playoff run as Carolina yet again is going to win the Stanley Cup. And here comes the captain yet again, Jordan Staal, coming to collect the Stanley Cup for the Carolina Hurricanes as they are back-to-back champions in year number 3, boys. I guess no salary cap, no problem, as Carolina is just going to continue on as normal, dominating the NHL and winning Stanley Cups in the process. For the playoffs, Sebastian Aho is going to lead the way for points with 34, followed by Svechnikov's 30. Kurashev at 26. Not even Connor Bedard led Chicago. Okay. Marty Necas was up there. Vrana, Seth Jones, Patrick Kane. Where the hell is Connor Bedard? Connor Bedard was down there with 10 goals and 21 points in 24 games. Connor Bedard is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, the Maurice Richard, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy. A clean sweep on all the individual awards. Adam Fox is going to win the Norris, the Lady Bing to Bedsy, and the Conn Smythe to Sebastian Aho. The Vezina is going to go to Georgiev, and the Selke is going to go to Ryan O'Reilly for 3 straight years. I mean, at this rate, he's probably going to pass Bergeron as the best defensive forward of all time. Now, in the offseason, we have some juicy free agents like Artemi Panarin at a 91 overall, Marty Necas, Alex Tuch, Matt Zuccarello, Patrick Kane. For goalies, we have Philip Gustafsson, Freddie Anderson, Stuart Skinner, Vladar, Jacob Markstrom. So if we look at the list here, let's see who signed. Corey Perry signed with the Boston Bruins. Logan Thompson is with the Oilers. Marty Necas has actually decided to go to Seattle. Alex Tuch is going to Nashville. Okay, Rasmus Anderson is signing with the Pens. Patrick Kane has decided to go to the Seattle Kraken. Connor Garland to the Islanders. Sonny Milano to the Flames. Philip Gustafsson to the Blues. Logan Stankoven signing with Arizona. Clean Costin with Chicago. Kevin Shattenkirk is signing with the Rangers. He's still in the NHL. I thought he retired like 2 or 3 years ago. Moving along here, the Edmonton Oilers are going to be the best team in the NHL, winning 56 games, followed by the Colorado Avalanche, the New York Rangers. Florida was up there, in Tampa Bay. Now at the bottom of the NHL, we have the LA Kings, the Ottawa Senators, the Pittsburgh Penguins, and the Calgary Flames. Ah yes, Pittsburgh in a couple of years are definitely going to be down bad. Austin Matthews will tie for goals in the NHL with 64. Mika Zibanejad, but he is going to lead in points with 118, followed by Connor Bedard's 116. Sam Reinhart had 116. Kaprizov was up there. McKinnon, McDavid, Makar. All the big boys were up there. Matthew Tkachuk had 105. Marty Necas 104. Johnny Hockey 104. Now for goals, we know Zibanejad and Matthews are going to tie at 64. Bedard had 62. Ovechkin at age 41 had 55. Kaprizov was up there. Patrick Laine 54. Kucherov 53. Rantanen 52. And Caulfield 52. Now for defensemen, Cale Makar is going to lead with 107 points, followed by Adam Fox's 89. Victor Hedman 74. And Bobquist had 70. I feel like they actually nerfed Adam Fox in this game. He was a lot better in NHL 23, and they've definitely buffed Cale Makar. Logan Thompson is going to lead all goalies for wins with 46, followed by Igor's 42 and Vasi 42. And for shutouts, Linus Ullmark is going to lead with 6, followed by Vasi, who had 5, Aiden Hill 5, and Connor Hellebuck 4. Connor Hellebuck signed with the Buffalo Sabres. Buffalo has a squad now, boys. They can actually make a run at a Stanley Cup. And here's what our playoff matchups look like in year number 4. And in the Stanley Cup final, we have the Colorado Avalanche, who yet again have made it. I think this is their 3rd time making the Stanley Cup Cup final. They already lost twice, but they are going to be up against the Buffalo Sabres, who have Connor Hellebuck, Tage Thompson, Alex Tuck, Rasmus Dahlin, the whole trio. Let's see who is going to go on and win the Stanley Cup in year number 4. And the Colorado Avalanche are going to get the revenge after losing 2 Stanley Cup finals during the video, as they go on and defeat Buffalo in the Stanley Cup final. I guess the third time is the charm, as they are going to be Stanley Cup champions yet again for the first time since 2022, which in real life wasn't that long ago, but in the game now it's been like 4 or 5 years since then. And there it is, the Stanley Cup being raised in Colorado. Last time they won it in Tampa, so it's going to be good as hell to win it at home. Here comes their assistant captain, not even their captain, Cale Makar. Oh right, Gabriel Landeskog is gone. He's injured. He's out for like 2 years. Here's the cover boy, Cale Makar, coming to collect that Stanley Cup and lifting it for the second time in his NHL career, as Colorado yet again are Stanley Cup champions. Dylan Cousins is going to lead the playoffs in scoring with 35, followed by Jeff Skinner's 30, Tage Thompson at 29. So the Buffalo Sabres big guns definitely showed out. They played like big players. They just could not get it done, I guess. Rantanen had 26, Nylander 25, Marner 23, Jordan Eberle was up there with 22. Sam Reinhart is going to take home the Ted Lindsay and the Hart Trophy, while the Art Ross is going to go to Austin Matthews and the Maurice Richard to Zibanejad. Cale Makar yet again is going to win the Norris, the lady being to Sam Reinhart, and the Conn Smythe to Mikko Rantanen. Vasi is going to take home the Vezina, and the Selke is going to go to Elias Lindholm. Okay, here in free agency, we have some huge free agents, like Cale Makar, who just won the Stanley Cup, also a 96 overall. We have Quinn Hughes, who's a 91. Evan Bouchard, who's an 88. Nikita Kucherov, 94. Pavel Zacha. Breadman is also a free agent. Jarrett McCann, Dylan Dubé, Blake Wheeler, Ryan Strome. Now for goalies, who do we have here? Jake Ottinger's a free agent, 89 overall. Gustafsson, Jordan Binnington, Philip Grubauer. Cale Makar has decided to sign with Vancouver on a 7-year deal. Kucherov has gone to Carolina for 1 year. And oh my god, Carolina also picked up Quinn Hughes for 7 years. Evan Bouchard is signing with the Montreal Canadiens. Pavel Zacha to the Flames. Jarrett McCann to the Capitals. Jake Ottinger is actually going to re-sign with the Dallas Stars. Artemi Panarin is signing with Buffalo. Dylan Dubé with the Blue Jackets. Gustafsson with the Dallas Stars. Andrew Koch is signing with Vancouver. Texier to Dallas. Now at the end of year number 5, the Tampa Bay Lightning are going to tie the Boston Bruins all-time wins record at 65 wins. Not only did a couple years ago they won 62 games, but now they win 65, tying literal last season Boston Bruins, followed by the Edmonton Oilers, the Buffalo Sabres, the Boston Bruins, and the New Jersey Devils. At the bottom of the NHL, we have the LA Kings, the Arizona Coyotes, the St. Louis Blues, and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Connor Bedard, oh my god, he scored 80 fucking goals? He is 22 years old, scoring 80 goddamn goals in the NHL. Only 48 assists, also 128 points, which not to mention is going to tie for the most in the NHL. Kucherov had 128, Svechnikov 120, McDavid 115, Pasta 113. Zach Benson was up there with 111. I still cannot get over Connor Bedard, man. Scoring 80 goals. I don't think I've ever seen anybody score 80 goals in any simulation ever. Next closest would be David Pastrnak with 69. Followed by Jason Robertson and Kaprizov, who had 58, Matthews 57, Owen Tippett scored 56. Now for defensemen, Victor Hedman is going to explode, 90 points on the season, followed by Cale Makar's 89, Quinn Hughes had 78. Quinn Hughes signed with the Carolina Hurricanes, and of course, Cale Makar with the Vancouver Canucks. Andrei Vasilevsky is going to set a new wins record for goalies in a single season with 51 wins, followed by Linus Ullmark's 42, Logan Thompson 42, and Spencer Knight 37. For shutouts, Dan Vladar is going to lead the way with 5. Actually, him and Hellebuck would each tie at 5, followed by Vasi's 4. Diego had 4, as well as Ilya Sorokin, who had 3. Alright, boys, for the 5th and final playoff run, here are the matchups. Let's go ahead and simulate to see who makes the Stanley Cup final. And in the Stanley Cup final, we have a rematch of 2006 between the Edmonton Oilers and the Carolina Hurricanes. The series is tied 1-1 right now. Let's simulate and see who goes on to take home the Stanley Cup in year number 5, Carolina or the Edmonton Edmonton Oilers. And finally, Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers get it done as they go on and defeat the Carolina Hurricanes in the Stanley Cup final. Edmonton grabs its first Stanley Cup since the Gretzky days. McDavid and Draisaitl finally get it done as a duo. Connor McDavid is going to take home the Conn Smythe for the Edmonton Oilers. I mean, who else would it be? This guy's literally been their savior. And there's going to be no more guys on Twitter absolutely chirping McDavid or Draisaitl for not getting it done in the postseason, as finally the Oilers have gone on to win the Stanley Cup. Here is McDavid coming to lift the cup for the very first time in his career. It's taken him, what, like 10 years to get here, but he is finally here as the Edmonton Oilers in year number 5 have gone all the way, capturing that Stanley Cup. Now for the entire playoffs, Connor McDavid is going to dominate with 21 goals, leading there, and of course leading in points with 35, followed by Nikita Kucherov's 34, Nugent Hopkins had 31, your mom's a hoe had 30, Quinn Hughes had 30, Svechnikov was up there, Draisaitl, Pasternak, and Darnell Nurse. And there it is, boys. Every Stanley Cup winner throughout the video so far. We had Toronto, and then Carolina went back-to-back, Colorado, and then, of course, the Edmonton Oilers here in year number 5. The Ted Lindsay is going to go to Nikita Kucherov and the Hart as well. The Art Ross and the Maurice Richard are going to go to Bedsy. Victor Hedman is going to win the Norris. Kucherov is going to take home the Lady Byng, and the Conn Smythe, of course, to Connor McDavid. The Vezina is going to go to Andrei Vasilevsky, and the Selke is going to go to Connor Bedard, taking home his first Selke of his career. And that is going to do it for this video, boys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. It really helps me out. And there you have it. I turned off the salary cap, boys, and the NHL went absolutely nuts. I mean, we had Toronto actually winning a Stanley Cup. The Carolina Hurricanes turned into a dynasty going back-to-back. Of course, the greatest team of all time in Colorado also got a Stanley Cup, and the Edmonton Oilers and Connor McDavid finally got it done, winning their very first Stanley Cup in over 30 years. It's been a long-ass time. This was a very fun video to make. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, don't be silly. Wrap your willy.